What's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Paris and I make videos all about candle making and the starting and managing of my small candle business, LadyCIMONNE Candle Co. Today is part 2 of Shopify, the overview. If you have not caught part 1, I will link it in the cards above and in the description box below. But today I am going to give you a full Shopify demo on how to set up your store and how to get everything up and running to go live. Plus give you my final review. So let's get started. All right, everyone, I am back here and we are going to go ahead and get started because there's quite a bit to talk about. So we are going to set up a fake Shopify store and I'm going to show you how to do that and how to kind of get it set up. So we're going to go ahead and start a free trial here. As you can see, you can start your free trial for 14 days. I set up a demo address for this video. So we are going to type that in. It's LadyC demo business for this store. And then our store name is going to be LadyC demo business. And we are going to create our store. Now, when it comes to your trial, as you see, you was prompted to enter a store name, which will also kind of be your default URL, if you can see like up here in the search. And you won't be able to necessarily change this. That's how your store is going to look. Like that's how LadyCIMONNE Candle Co. That's how my store looked. myshopify.com. But you will be able to buy a custom domain if you want to, which is what I already had a domain and I was able to change it later on. But right now, just to get set up, you can just enter in your store name. And should you want another, if you want a domain name that actually looks like your store name, then you can do that. So you're here and we're prompted to ask a few questions. So it says, what are you selling? So you have a couple options here. And you have like, I'm just playing around. I'm not selling products yet. I'm selling, just not online. I sell with a different system. So for the sake of this video, we're going to put, I'm not selling products yet. I know that's what I picked when I first started my store because I wasn't selling anything yet. And so here it says, do you have something to sell? Yes. So you have a few options here like, no, I'm just playing around. I'm still brainstorming, or yes, I have a product and it'll be ready to launch in a few weeks. So that's what I picked. What's your current revenue? I obviously picked 0. I'm just getting started. But as you can see, you know, if you already kind of been selling for a while and you kind of know what your revenue is, just it kind of gives you like some ballpark options. But at the time, I just picked, I don't have nothing, y'all. I'm getting started. So which industry would you be operating in? I picked handcrafts at the time. Well, because making candles is handcraft. So for the sake of this video, we're going to pick handcraft. But as you can see, there's so many different options here based on the industry your product is in. And then lastly, are you setting up a store for a client? And then you can click yes if you are, but we're not doing that. So then you can just click next. Now, if you don't know the answers to these questions yet, you can definitely skip here, but I knew enough to go ahead and answer those questions. So now you want to add an address so that you can get paid. And so right now I'm just going to put like a fake address because this is just like I said, this is definitely a demo store. So, so I created the fake address and I just put in like a fake dummy phone number. And as you can see below, your trial has started. And when your trial is over, like this banner will continue to be here and it will kind of give you like a countdown on how many days you have left, and it will continue to kind of notify you like, hey, select a plan. So number 2, we're going to move right along. You want to begin adding your products. So when you go to your store here, now we're in the back end, you want to go to products and you want to go to add product to create your first product listing. There's so many decisions on this page, and I'm gonna walk you through it, which is why this video may be kind of long. But here, as you can see, we want to start with our product title. So product pages are pretty much where your customers are going to go to learn about a product and decide whether or not they want to buy it. So this is kind of what's going to make your store pop. You can have a bomb homepage, but your products is all in the details. The details is what's going to matter. You want to share the right information, enough information without overloading your customer, but enough information through the text and the visuals to make all the difference in their decision. And so your product title, you want to make that very clear and precise. So we're just going to use one of my candle names, and one of my candle names is called Visionary. This is my lavender scent. So then you want to jump down to the actual product description. And so what I did with my product descriptions, and I'll go to, I have my store pulled up as well. And go to, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to copy and paste this into here so I can walk you through it on this blank canvas here. So I let them know that that's my lavender scent, that it's a year-round scent. And then I gave a great description. I tried to describe the scent as best I could with the undertones and the notes. I do have call to action cards that come with each order and with each scent. So I kind of gave like a synopsis of the call to action card. I decided to put the notes here. I also put ingredients here because a lot of customers are really into, what am I burning in my house, which is totally fine. I put the burn time here. And then I also kind of added a few things that, will kind of entice the customer, and of course the actual size and ounce of the jar. So that's my product description. So when it comes to product descriptions, know who you're speaking to. Think about your customers' needs, and you want them to feel confident in buying your product. So you want to communicate as best as you can. Think about what makes you purchase certain things online. It's the way it looks on the model, or the description and how it was laid out online. So you want to think about that when it comes to your product description. So you want to also think about anticipating, questions. So like, I know for candle lovers, if you're really, really a candle lover, you think about what notes are in there, so there may be a customer that's really, really into candles and may want to know what notes it is. They may want to know, how long does this candle burn? They may want to know what type of toxins, or is this a natural candle? Is this something that's going to have a negative impact in my home when I'm burning it? So I wanted to put those ingredients there to reassure them that this is a natural fragrance, that I'm using a natural wick, and that, you know, I hand pour these, you know, in small batches. You can reuse the jar. There may be some people out there that's very into reusable products and very much into recycling and finding other purposes for a finished product. And then I'm also thinking about the customer who probably wants to know, well, how big is the candle that I'm paying for? So I put the description to kind of anticipate those questions or objections. You also want to make sure your text is easy to scan. So make sure it's easy to read. You're able to bold, you're able to italicize, underline, to, you know, if you want certain text to stand out. You can do bullet points and all of that stuff to kind of make it readable and customer friendly. So help themselves see what they're getting, pretty much, is what I want to encourage you to do. And so now, if you want to scroll down, you have your media here. And I'm going to flip over to mine really quick so you can kind of see what I'm doing over here. So as you can see, I added several pictures for my media, and you can play around with this. I suggest maybe adding a couple pictures and just then viewing your store, and because you can come up here and click view. Once you add a couple products, you can go up to the top and click view and see how you like the layout. So we're just going to add just a quick picture. There's visionary, here we go. So I'm just going to add a picture really quick. So when it comes to the media section of this page, you can pretty much upload any visual media that pretty much helps you tell your story about your products. So you can do photos, GIFs, videos, anything that you feel like will make a difference with, you know, your product. Now we are going to scroll down to setting our price. Like currently I sell my candles for $15. Now optionally, you can use the compare at price field to communicate what your product would typically cost, especially in the case of a sale. So for example, if you want to show that your candles are on sale, what I do is I'll put $15 in this section, and then if it's on sale, I'll put the sale price in the actual price, and it will show on your store that it's a sale. So that's what the compare at price field is. And then cost per item. So this is optional too. It's not mandatory. This just kind of helps you get an idea on what your profit and your margin is looking like once you sell a candle. So once you kind of break down your cost of goods served, cost of goods sold, I'm sorry, this is kind of where you put that, how much it costs to actually make one candle, and it will help you see your how much you're profiting and what your margin is. So now we're going to move down to inventory. So if this is your first time selling, you know, this may look a little like overwhelming, like, oh my gosh, a SKU, barcode, like what is all of this stuff? And so just to kind of give you an idea, I'll go over to my page. So I just created my own SKU number. CAN stands for candle. And then I have 0001. Boom. Simple as that. I do not have a barcode. I do track the quantity, and because this kind of helps with the inventory in the back end of the store. So I do want it checked. I do check my inventory every week to make sure that what I have on stock is actually what's showing in the store, because mistakes can happen. And quantity, this is where you'll begin your beginning inventory. This is what starts your inventory. So when I first started, you know, just to get my store up and going, I only had one of each scent. So I just put one at the time. So we'll just put one here for the sake of this video. Now this right here, continue selling when out of stock. That's up to you. It just depends on how you want to run your store. I personally do not like that. If I'm out of stock of a scent, I'm out of stock of a scent. And I restock when I see that I'm getting low, or it also depends on my ordering when I order my supplies. And so I do not want to continue selling and customers thinking they're getting a candle in the next 2 to 3 business days, because that's what my shipping policy says, that it ships out within 3 to 5 business days. And I don't want them thinking that they about to get a candle and they're not. So that's up to you, however you choose to handle that. And so now in this section, this kind of helps you with the shipping. So I just put my full finished candle on a scale. And based on what the scale said, that's what I put. So mine is 13.9 ounces. So customs information. So country of origin. I'm from the United States, so that's what I picked. But if you will pick the country you are stationed in. So variance. So variance is, I don't have variance set up for my product, but variance is pretty much if you want to let your customers know that your product comes in different options, like sizes, colors, instead of adding each one as its own product, you can just add a variance. So for example, clothing, this is a shirt. So the variance, if someone was selling shirts, they would pick variance and put like size as the variance and put small, medium, large, extra large, 2X. So that's what that is. And so now we want to navigate to this right side panel here. And this is product availability. And this is where you can choose your different sales channels. And so, so for example, like Facebook or Amazon, of course, online store, which is kind of the default channel. And you can also pick POS. And so this is where you would manage how many sales channels, different ways that you're selling your product. So you would manage that there. Your product type. This is basically telling it what it is. So this is a candle. So that's the product that I'm selling. The vendor is the manufacturer, wholesaler, or the third-party vendor for the product. So I am Lady Cimonne Candle Co. So I am, we'll put Lady C Demo Business as the vendor, because you're the person selling your product. And so collections, this is where you can kind of organize and curate your product for specific purposes and audiences. So for example, like for clothes, let's just keep using clothes. They'll make a collection based on women versus men, maybe summer items, skirts, or just tops. And so you can do the same thing with candles as well. Down here at the very bottom, this is just what your search engine listing will look like actually online. So it's just kind of giving you a view of what your search engine look like. And you can customize this. You can edit website CEO if you don't like that. You can improve, basically the discoverability of your products through the search engine. That's what CEO is all about. If you want to use certain keywords or different words to kind of target your customer to search for your products, you can definitely do that here in this section. So now that we have our product listed, let's start. Let me show you how to kind of organize them in a collection. So you want to hit save, because you want to make sure we're saving the product so we don't lose it. And so now you want to go to, we're already kind of under the products menu. So now you want to go down here to collections. And this is where you'll begin creating your collection. And so what you want to do is you want to create collection. And like I said, one of my collections is empowering candles. Here you can enter in a description. I don't think I have a description. Let me go over here to, yeah, see, here's my collections. Some of those are hidden because they're not released yet. Okay, so here's my collections. Again, I don't really have a description, but you're more than welcome to put a description based on how you may want to greet visitors when they land on this particular collection page. You are more than welcome. And as you can see, here are all my scents so far that's added to that collection. So this is just a collage here of different scents. So I put that picture there so they can click on the image. And here are my two sales channels. This is where my collection is available. So it's available in my online store. And then if I was to do POS, it would be available for me to create orders in person. So you can do that. Moving on to creating some key pages for your online store. So we focused on products. We know how to add media. We know how to create collections and things like that. But you also have to think of the legal side of your business. And you want to make sure you give customers reasons to trust you and make sure there's essential details available to your customers who may be curious about your policies and what you're about. So that is where we are going to head to now. So we went on and saved our collection. So now we're going to go to online store and hit pages. And this is just letting us know that our store is password protected, which is great. So you don't need to have all your pages ready for launch, in my opinion. But I feel like there are some main pages that I feel like you should have if you cannot get all your pages ready by launch. And that's your contact page, your about page, your frequently asked questions page, and your policy pages. So you know, this is where you will begin to add your pages. So you will go to add page. And for the sake of this video, we're just going to do frequently asked questions. Oops. And this is where you will begin entering all of that. And you would just hit save when you're done adding your frequently asked pages page. Here is what mine looks like. I wanted mine centered. I wanted the titles underlined, and I kind of created some space there. You can add links by just highlighting a word and clicking this little link button over here. And, you know, if there's a certain page you want to link it to, I kind of highlighted my email in my business email in a different color. So I tried to cover as much as I could on my frequently asked questions, just like any other business would. So here is where you want to add contact page, about me page, frequently asked questions, and your policy pages. There is some helpful tools here that Shopify gives you when it comes to policy pages. And what you want to do is you want to go to settings and you want to go over here to legal. And here is where they kind of give you a default template of all the major pages that you need to create your pages. So it kind of covers all the main legal pages for you. And all you have to do is just kind of switch out some words and customize them. So like if you create from template, you can click that button. And as you can see, it kind of already defaulted your email in there. It kind of give you a general refund policy that is generally covered depending on what industry you picked at that beginning question. When we were first creating our store. And I just kind of went through here and I read each one. I kind of tweaked the font. Maybe I think I underlined some things because I wanted it to look a certain way. And you can just kind of play around with this and make sure, you know, you kind of have a head start and just read through if you have anyone that can kind of have a second eyes and make sure you're covering everything. Here's your shipping policy. And yeah, that is your legal pages right there. And you can hit save and it will automatically go ahead and create those pages for you. Now that we got some products up and we got some pages ready to go, we are going to head over to online store so we can kind of look at some themes here and figure out how we want it to look. So this is the default theme that you're going to get, which is Debut. That's their signature theme. So here is where you can view the Shopify theme store. Here is where the free themes are, which is where I went. But if you visit the theme store, it has free and selected paid themes. So you can explore these themes. Like I said, I went straight to the free because I was on a budget. You know, you just kind of want to browse, look at the descriptions, see what you like, see what kind of fits, you know, your style. Like, for example, the Express theme, you know, that is a good theme for, you know, restaurants. You can tell right here it has like a menu. I can already see like a preview of a menu here. And so that's good for a restaurant. I probably wouldn't pick that unless I can really, really make it work. You can see these themes are geared for like clothing, you know what I'm saying? But you can make this work and tweak it how you want to. Now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to hit customize just to kind of show you the different options that you have when it comes to customizing your theme. So when you hit customize, it takes you this is how it will show. And right now, this middle icon here where my mouse is, it's just showing that it's what the desktop view would look like. And then if you want to click and see what the mobile view looks like with your theme, you can click that as well. And so here we're just going to scroll down and just kind of take a look. So as you can see, this has like, you can see that this would be a huge image with text overlay. So the background would be an image and you could see the text would be over the image. So here is a image with text on the side. Here is probably where you would want to feature maybe your blog. As you can see, share a blog post or products or maybe some promotions or maybe showcase a collection or something like that. Or you can save this for your blog, or like I have my YouTube channel. And then here is your featured collection. So maybe you want to showcase all of what you offering right there. Here's another image with text overlay. So maybe that can be your email list to encourage people to sign up. Here's where you can enter some reviews here. Here's some more images. Maybe you just want this to be your social media reel and they can follow you on Instagram. Maybe this can be an Instagram link or something to kind of like a slideshow to show your pictures. Or maybe this can be your professional pics or a picture with a quote or something like that. So that is, and here is this sidebar right here. So this is where you would click to open it up. So you would double click, and if you want to select the image, you'll select the image here. You'll pick how you want it to be aligned, your text size, your section height. You know, if you want it large or small, you can play around with it. This is where you'll enter the text. If you want a button, then you will click, you will type in whatever you want your button name to be and then put a link there, and it will take you to different parts of your store to link that button. And so, as you design your homepage, you want to prioritize what information you want to prioritize. So I would just, it seems very overwhelming, and it can be, but this is why I say kind of be patient with the process and start sooner, and don't give yourself like a week to launch. And if you really want to take your time and browse the store, that's what I would suggest doing. When it comes to things like up here, like your header, you can also customize that. I think if you click out of there, you can customize your footer as well. You can add some things, add content to the footer. So there's so many things you can do, guys. You just kind of have to take your time and just kind of go through and see, what you want to show. And then if you want to take a view of the page. This little eyeball here will take you to the view of the page, and it will give you like a full web view on what it looks like. And even here, if you want to go to theme actions and hit preview theme, it will take you to a full web version, and it will show you what it looked like if someone wants to go straight to your store. And so take advantage of just playing around with it. You can, like I said, you can choose different fonts. You can choose colors. You can link stuff with this little link button. There's so many things you can do here. Theme settings this is where you'll come over here and do your colors, your font, your social media, how you want your checkout theme to look like. You can add your logo here. If you want to add a banner, so many things, your main content. So if you want a background image, and then you can just hit save and then view the theme. And that's how you can view it. Pretend that you're buying a product, the one that we already added, and view the theme. So like, for example, you can preview theme. It'll take you to see this is how it will look if somebody was to come to your page. You would come over here to catalog if this is the theme that you chose, and see here's our candle. And so here's our description. Okay. If you want to add to cart, you add to cart, and it will show you what your cart looks like. You can view cart and see this is what your cart will look like somebody check out. And so you can come back over here and say, I don't really like that. Let me go back over here to my checkout and add some more stuff because I don't like the way that looks. And you can do just that. Outside of how your checkout actually looks, and if you click this little Shopify bag right here, it takes you back to the back end of your store. Another way to customize how your checkout actually looks and things like that, you would come to settings and you would go to your checkout process if you want to actually customize the process. And you would kind of walk through these options here. If there's a certain way you want your checkout to flow as well, not necessarily the design of it, but just the different options to prioritize what the customers are getting and what they're seeing when they check out. So like, for example, do you want customers to check out only using email, or do you want their phone number and their email? You know, there's some online stores that make you put their email. Do you want them to receive shipping updates? Yes. You know, how do you want them to fill out their checkout information for your customer? Do you want their full name? You know, I've seen some online stores where company name was like optional. You want address line 2 optional, to give them an option to put an apartment. You know, so this is how you would kind of customize how you want your checkout actually to flow and what you want their customers to enter. Now let's talk about setting up your shipping. We are moving right along, guys. So shipping can be one of the most complex considerations, I think, when it comes to running an e-commerce type business, because you got things like weights, packaging costs, shipping donations, carrier rates, and your potential profit per order. And so there's a lot of variables to consider. And so luckily though, there's a few main approaches, some of which you can actually blend together, which is one of the things I love about Shopify and how they kind of have it set up. You can kind of blend things together based on the unique needs of your business and find a shipping strategy that works for you. So one of the ways and that you can do this is offer free shipping. So of course, that's a great incentive, very effective for customers to get people to shop with you, whether it's applied to certain products or to certain amounts. At the top of my store banner, I have that you can get free shipping if your order is $70 and up. And I'll get into showing you how to get to all of that as well. Another way is charging real-time carrier rates. And so I actually have that. I actually use the actual carrier rates. I feel like it's easier. Well, not necessarily easier, but because I actually charge for shipping, I rather go with what the actual carrier has, like USPS, and it actually generates the shipping option and live pricing for me. So this allows my customers to choose the exact service and price that they want. And then, you know, of course, Shopify offers discounted rates with their labels and things like that. And then you can also charge a flat rate. So flat rate shipping works best when your products have similar sizes and weights, making actual shipping expenses easier to predict. So it's all going to be based on how do you want to appeal to your customers and the unique needs of your business. So, and then, of course, Shopify now has the option where you can offer local pickup or delivery. So now we're going to go to where we can customize the shipping. So shipping and delivery. So you'll go to your settings, shipping and delivery. And this is where you will customize everything. So in terms of shipping rates and zones, this is where you will manage that. So you will go to manage rates, and right now it defaults to the United States because that's the country of origin that I chose. So it just naturally defaulted to the United States. This is my default, like my fake business address I was telling y'all about. And so this is where I'm shipping from. So this is what will show up on your shipping label. This is where you're located at. And if you need to create other shipping zones, this is where you would go in to create other shipping zones and click other countries and regions. Right now, I do not offer international shipping, but should you want to offer international shipping, this is where you would manage that. And then here is kind of just the standard defaulted prices. So if you want to edit any of these, you just go to these little three dots and you can either edit the rate or delete it. And so for me, just to kind of show you what I have set up really quickly, I kind of like showing you a demo, but also kind of showing you what I have because, you know, I kind of feel like it helps give you a general idea from another candle maker's perspective. And so you see I have United States here. And so the only condition that I have customized is my USPS priority mail. So I just have $70 and up, they get free shipping. When I go to carrier and app rates, the two options that I offer for my customers is first class mail or priority mail. So they can choose any. So when they go to checkout, these two pricing options are available. So they typically, customers are going to choose whatever's the cheapest shipping. And sometimes that can be first class. Sometimes priority mail is the best option. And then it will also offer other type of rates like standard shipping or, you know, whatever that you want to customize and add. That's what you do here in this area. Like I said, I chose to just use the default USPS carrier because that's just the carrier I decided to use. But again, you can edit this, you can delete it, you can do whatever you want. You can add, and this is where you go to add rate and you use either carrier. You can set your own rates or you can use carrier rates. And here's the drop down. And you got UPS, USPS, and DHL. And so that's how you manage that. And so now we're going to get into some taxes. So as a business that sells goods and services like what we're doing, you have to collect taxes to send to the government each time someone orders from your store. And I know this can vary depending on jurisdictions, but overall, y'all, just like as a personal person, you have to pay taxes. You got to pay taxes with your business. So fortunately, Shopify will help you automatically handle most of these tax calculations using a lot of the default sales tax rates around the world that's already kind of built in. So I will say though, I still think it's a good idea to conduct some research, talk to a tax professional. I know I did. I am not a tax professional, so I dare not try to tell you how to do your taxes and how to set that up necessarily here. I'm just going to kind of show you where you go to set it up. But I would just consult somebody to make sure you're charging the correct amount for sales tax. And so what we're going to do here is go to settings and go down here to taxes. And here's where you can edit the default rates for your taxes. So because I do not ship to the rest of the world right now, it says I'm not collecting because I do not ship there, but I live here in the United States, so that's default. So you would want to go into here. And so I am based in Ohio. And so what you want to do is you want to figure out what your sales tax ID is. And this is where you would go and update your tax information. So it's pretty self-explanatory there. You go here and you register for your sales tax permit. And based on where you live, that is where you want to put your sales tax ID and make sure you are collecting as you should be. Here is your tax override, so you can customize your tax rates, based on where you're shipping and making sure you're collecting what you should be. So that way you could be, making sure you pay your taxes. Now let's go ahead and set up our payment gateways and our payouts. We're in the final stretch, guys. I know this video seems long, and it's probably like, oh my gosh, this is so much to do, but it's not in the grand scheme of things. It just seems like a long time because the video is super long. So now we're going to make sure we get paid, right? So to get your payments and everything set up, you want to go to settings, payments, and now you want to set up your payment provider. So this kind of gives you an overview on how much Shopify will charge you for people to use credit cards. On this plan, there's no transaction fee. These are the accepted payments, which is awesome. We also have PayPal here, which I have set up through here as well, because a lot of people like to use PayPal. So I try to make sure I provide as many payment options, including this, on top of PayPal as I can. They also have Amazon Pay. So there's a button here on your store checkout, so it enables customers to use this payment option. And then there's other third-party providers that you can choose, as well as alternative payment methods that can kind of give you the best wide range to appeal to your customers. So what we're going to do is just go through and complete kind of the payment setup here. So you want to click on complete payment setup, and this is where you'll kind of fill out your Shopify payments, like for your business details. So if you're an LLC, if you have not filed yet, or I would just put individual, sole proprietor, or single member LLC. I would choose that as the default if you are not like a formed entity or anything yet. So if you haven't filed, then of course you're not going to have an EIN, which is why this is optional. Your address will be there. You'll fill out some additional personal details like your name, your date of birth, and you'll need your social security number if you're not going to use an EIN. You just want to give like a brief description of like the products and stuff that you sell. And then here is the way that it will show up when a customer places an order on their bank statement. So if you want this to be edited, you can kind of take whatever out or add to however you want it to appear on the customer's bank statements. And then here is how your funds will be deposited into your bank account. So if you have a business bank account or not, whatever you want to use to get your payouts, you want to put the routing and account number there and get your whole account set up. So that is where you do that. I would show you mine, but of course that's personal information. And then here is where you'll also complete PayPal. So after your first sale, when customers check out, they'll send you an email to whatever your PayPal email is. If this email is not your PayPal email, you can go in and edit it and change it out. But this is where your payouts will go to your PayPal. So if they choose to use that option will show up in checkout. So you will click there, and you will get set up by connecting your PayPal with Shopify. So that's how you get that done. So that is how you do that. And when you start getting payouts, you can click view payouts, and this is how you'll keep track of that. You'll be able to view the details of each transaction and breakdowns of each payout and when they'll be available in your bank. Now, honestly, at this point, with all that we've done so far, those first 7 steps, you really could launch your store like right now. You could go and, once you customize your theme, if you need to add a domain, you could at this point go live and be done with it if you want to. You can disable the password protection let me show you where that's at. You go to online store and you go to preferences, and you would scroll down here. So that's the password they gave you, but you can pick whatever. You can change that password if you want to, but you have to pick a plan at that point. Right now we're in the trial phase, but you really could at this point launch your store. That's pretty much the gist of what you need to actually go live, and customers will have a smooth flow and check out and be good to go. And then as you're getting orders and as you have time, this is when you can kind of carve out time for maintenance and updates and just get it perfect if you felt like you hadn't had a chance to get it to where you want to. But of course, you want to make a good, strong first impression. You want a good, smooth experience with your website. I've actually asked customers, messaged them or emailed them and said, hey, how was your experience? How was checkout? How was the flow? How did you find locating my collections and my products and things like that? So I would just recommend kind of slowing down, trust the process. But if you truly feel like, okay, I need to launch by this date, everything we just went over is a great start to getting you off to the right foot. At this point, I would just say I thoroughly like Shopify. I don't really have any complaints, really. If anything, I'm probably going to look into more shipping options. I know there's other type of shipping providers that probably, at least that I've heard, just in conversation with a lot of you, that there's other places, other carriers, not necessarily carriers, but shipping websites that I can use to get even more discounted shipping for my shipping labels. So I'm probably going to look into that. I would say, though, for this to be my first store, my first time operating a business, I am fine with it. I don't have any complaints. I haven't had any downtime. I haven't had any issues with it shutting down or not working. I like the plan that I'm on. I do not feel the need to, update my plan at the moment. It's working for how my e-commerce store is operating at the moment. I'm able to get reports. And let me kind of show you that here at my store. Analytics. I think I've showed you this before on last week, but here is where I can get my reports and my sales, and I can track inventory. Although I'm looking into a more detailed way to track my inventory, I'm also probably going to go back and review some of my cost of goods and make sure I'm still pricing correctly. I've made a lot of changes and a lot of updates, and I haven't had any issues doing so with Shopify. Customer service is very helpful. And like I said, the only downside is maybe just knowing that there's potentially other options for saving even more on shipping. But again, when you're a new business owner, you're not thinking about that right away. You're just trying to get it going. And, as long as I have everything set up, I'm good. But I'm definitely going to look into better shipping. But overall, I do not have any complaints. I will say maybe another downfall that I would say is the themes. There's not many free options, but there's tons of paid options. And most of them were just not in my budget, and I just wasn't willing to pay for it right now. And I'm still not at the moment because I'm fine with how my store flows. So if you're looking for more customizable themes and less limitations with themes, Shopify is probably not the way to go unless you want to pay for it. But if it's not in your budget, you're a little bit more restricted in how you can customize your store. But granted, there's still plenty to customize even on the free themes. I'm not sure if you've all visited my store, but there was plenty that I can do. There was plenty of options and colors. I mean, there were so many things I could still do, but it's definitely not perfect. You know what I mean? But it's perfect for me at the moment in my business. So I would say shipping and themes is probably the biggest downfalls with Shopify. I will say maybe another downfall is maybe the analytics and the reports. Although I do get great reports, the higher your plan, the more detailed reports you can get, especially if you're looking to scale your business and really analyze and project. I would say the bigger the plan, the more financial summaries and reports and customized reports you can get. So if you're that type of person, having the basic plan is not going to give you all of that. However, with my bookkeeper having access to my store, and then I also have QuickBooks, she's been able to give me just enough, especially for being 2 months in. She's been able to give me what I need to, help me determine if I'm on the right track financially with my business. So that's another thing to consider. I also want to talk about marketing really quick. I do like their marketing. They do have tons of apps. I think I shared with you last time to kind of help, get the word out there and engage shoppers and other ways to promote your products. So I do enjoy their apps. A lot of them are free. All the apps that I currently use are free. Product reviews, my rewards program, and things like that, my pop-ups and all of that stuff. All of those right now I've been operating for free. My charity roundup that people can do for checkout to donate to my charity, all of those are free at the moment. And I enjoy that I have a lot of free app options as well. So if you're looking to, expand in that way and appeal to more customers, Shopify has great apps for that as well. So those are my final thoughts. So far, I enjoy Shopify. I do not have Etsy, and I have not explored any other options. Again, Shopify was just my first one after doing a lot of research and comparison, and I knew I wanted a way to tell my story in the way that I wanted to, and I felt like having my own storefront, e-commerce storefront, was the best way to go. It's not perfect. I'm sure other people will probably have other type of reviews, but for me to be 2 months in, it's working for me as a startup part-time entrepreneur. And it's handling what I need. One thing before I get out of your way is I wanted to direct you to the Shopify Help Center. You can just type in Shopify Help Center on Google. And if you remember last week in my video, I shared how the Help Center will be your best friend. It has so much information, guys. Like, look at all of that on the side. It's so much information. There's no way something won't get answered. Like, no way. So I wanted to bring your attention to the checklist for starting a new Shopify store. If you're thinking about going to Shopify, go to the Help Center and click on General Checklist. And then they also have here setting up your store. And so click on those two, and I would use this checklist as an overall baseline for getting your store set up to make sure you're not missing any steps. This is what I did, and I printed it out and I use this as a checklist to get everything set up, organized, how to open your, get your store open, add other channels like selling with Facebook and Instagram, and ways you can promote your store. And they give you some app suggestions that, will help you, scale your business and appeal to more customers. So I would print out this checklist if you're thinking about using Shopify to help get you off to a good start as well. So that is it for today. I hope this video was helpful. I hope it was detailed enough. Anything that I made that you feel like I didn't quite answer right, or you need some more clarity, please feel free to either message me or drop it in the description box, and I'll do my best to answer. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, bye guys.